What up, nerds? My name is Leslie Smith. Welcome to the Nerdy Narrative, a channel where we like to talk about reading. Today we're gonna have a little tag fun. A few weeks ago, my friend Kayla from Crack Into a Good Book tagged me in the coffee book tag. I'm gonna have her version of the tag linked below so you can check it out and also check her channel out while you're there. She has a fantastic channel where she reviews more books in a month than most people can read in a year. But be forewarned, your wallet's gonna be crying by the time you get done because she's gonna make you want to spend some money. So let's jump into it and see what we got. Prompt number 1, Black. Name a series that's hard to get into but has hardcore fans. That's an easy one to pick. Judging by all of my friends that have read it, reviews I've seen on BookTube, I'm gonna go with The Faithful and the Fallen by John Gwynne. Now, I'm a very character-driven reader, so I absolutely loved Malice, but a lot of people had a hard time getting into it because the first 300 pages is strictly character development, and you literally meet all of the characters and they just get fleshed out really well, but the whole rest of the series is nothing but action. So I actually loved it. You get it all up front, then it's done, it's out of the way. You get really attached to all of the characters in the story. So I loved it, but like I said, I'm character driven, not all people are, but I follow that with saying, while folks said that made it hard to get into, they did end up loving the book, and I don't think I've seen any of them give it less than 4 stars. So, what does that tell you? You need to read it! Prompt number 2, Peppermint Mocha. Name a book that gets more popular during the winter season. Another easy one. A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. I always see this one pop up around the Christmas holidays, and you're gonna see it pop up around this channel too. I know a lot of people that read it every year, and I believe there are several different versions. Julie from The Hungry Bookworm sent me a particular version that I think she's planning to read this year, and I think I'm gonna have to jump on that boat with her. Prompt number 3, Hot Chocolate. Name your favorite children's book. I'm gonna have to go with Superfudge by Judy Blume. I actually loved all of Judy Blume's book when I was a kid. I read every one of them, but there was just something about Superfudge that stuck with me, and as soon as I read that prompt, that book jumped to the forefront. It was an absolute delightful. It was funny. I want to say my 4th grade class did it as a read-along, but that has been a long time ago. I could be misremembering. Prompt number 4, Double Shot of Espresso. Name a book that kept you on the edge of your seat from start to finish. Before last week, I would have said The Outsider by Stephen King, but this one got usurped recently, and that was by The Patience of a Dead Man by Michael Clark. That book was absolutely phenomenal. It got me straight out the gate. I couldn't concentrate on anything else. Like, all of my other reads just got put to the side. I binged it. I really wanted to finish it one night. I literally just couldn't keep my eyes open long enough. So I went to bed, set an alarm for like 5:30 the next morning, and got up and finished it. It was amazing. It's the kind of scary that's just addicting, but also on a scare factor level between 1 and 10, it was a freaking 25. It's phenomenal. I loved it. Prompt number 5, Starbucks. Name a book that you see everywhere. That's gonna be Sylvia Moreno-Garcia's Mexican Gothic. I have been seeing this book all over Twitter, Facebook, BookTube, I mean everywhere. And as of filming, I still haven't read it yet, but I am dying to get to it. Prompt number 6, That Hipster Coffee Shop. Name a book by an indie author and give it a shout out. I have to go back to my roots for this one. My very first indie author book that I read this year after starting my channel is Blind Sympathy by Roberta Bombinato. It is a fantastic paranormal romance. It's got angels and demons, just all of those elements I have loved and been fascinated with since I was a teenager. For whatever crazy reason, I don't know. I probably should blame Frank Peretti for that. At any rate, I absolutely adored this book. She's told me that she is working on a prequel to it. I am still waiting for that. I've read a few others, and I have a couple more on my shelf of hers that I need to get to, but she is a fantastic author. Prompt number 7. Oops, I accidentally got decaf. Send that back. Name a book you expected more from. That's gonna be Devil's Creek by Todd Keisling. It started out so well. It was giving me all of the vibes that I loved from Salem's Lot. Unfortunately, it just drug out too much. It got boring on me. I stuck with it hoping it was going to come back around, kind of like Battleground. I felt like there was 200 pages that should have just been cut off of the front of that one to make it better. I kind of had that same feeling. I'm like, okay, I just got to get through this slow part and I'm going to get to the good stuff. And the good stuff wasn't what I was hoping for, so I felt a little bit let down by it and a little grossed out. Prompt number 8, the perfect blend. Name a book or series that is both bitter and sweet, but is ultimately satisfying. I went with a completed series so I could pick something that was bitter and sweet and ultimately satisfying with the ending. And for that one, I have to go back to my trusty The Faithful and the Fallen. It was all of those things. With this one, you become emotionally invested and connected and attached to all of the characters. Well, except for like 2 of them. There was 2 that I just wanted to rip all of their chapters out of the book. I just hated them so much. But for the rest of them, you just feel like you're part of the family, like you know them personally. You're just so connected to them. And there's so many things that happen that change how you feel about them, then you change it back, and it's just so many moments that are very sweet, very heartwarming, and then bitter and heart-wrenching. But ultimately, with the 4th and final book, Wrath, it just all comes together and is just a phenomenal ending to a phenomenal series. And lastly, do you have a go-to coffee order? Absolutely. So my favorite coffee is a locally owned coffee shop back in Mississippi called Cups. Yes, if you're wondering, I do absolutely have a subscription to that shop back home and get coffee beans sent. They are absolutely phenomenal. I've not been able to find another coffee shop that does coffee as well as they do. But besides getting their flavored coffee to drink at home, my favorite coffee drink from there is called a Capitol Street, and basically it's just a light roast coffee with steamed milk and the right amount of caramel. But since I don't have that here, I usually will visit Starbucks and I get a flat white, and I also get them to put a healthy dose of caramel in that one as well. It's about the closest I can get to a Capitol Street. It works. It's time to tag some folks. For this one, I want to tag Kim from Bookmarks and Breadsticks. She has a wonderful channel where she focuses on books about food, not cookbooks, books about food. And it's really interesting. Like, I know you're thinking, books about food? How could that be interesting? I'm telling you, there's a whole world out there of books about food and the chefs and people who have done so many wonderful things because of it. My favorite series that she has on her channel is called Book Duos, where she takes 2 different food books and talks about them and kind of compares them and the issues. I just can't do it justice to describe it to you. Please check her channel out. I'm going to have her linked below. I have no idea if she drinks coffee, but we're about to find out. And I'm going to tag my buddies over at the Codex Cantina. Also, we'll have their channel linked below. If you were to ask me, Leslie, what channel would be perfectly paired with a good cup of coffee? It would be the Codex Cantina. Their main focus is literary analysis. It's just been eye-opening watching their channel and learning about the different authors and the things surrounding the times and the culture that took place that these authors use as inspiration for their short stories. It's fascinating. I've learned a whole lot, and now I'm actually reading it for enjoyment. And that will wrap up the coffee book tag. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun to do. Kayla, thank you so much for tagging me. Don't forget to check her channel out, guys. Thank you so much for watching today. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Head down to the comments below. Tell me what your favorite coffee drink is. Do you have a favorite local coffee shop that I could order from online and maybe try your favorite coffee? Let me know down below.